Good morning. It's Saturday, January 20th, 2024, and this is the Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up with your host, John Newquist. A lot of news this week in a shortened week because of the King's holiday. But let's get into it. We have Morgan Stanley starting it off first. They came out with revenues, pretty good. Revenues went up 1.2% low. But remember, JPM, which is the largest, only went up 11. A lot of banks, negative revenue. So it meets our criteria, profitable, makes money, growing revenues, but the chart's ugly. It hit a double top, bounced down, it's in a lower wedge. So it could be a ugly spring. You know, a lot of the banks, everybody bet on for doing well this year, and it's not a good start. And they always remember, so goes January, so goes the year. Taiwan Semiconductor in our portfolio come out with earnings. The inventory's gone. That's what everybody liked. They got the inventory clear. They're making the AI chips. It just jumped. I mean, you talk about earnings coming out and it doing great. It just jumped. A new 52-week high. And that's what you like in a wedge. When it breaks out, that's the sign it's going to go possibly a lot more higher. And, again, we knew about it because they make the AI chips. Number one maker of AI chips for several players, including NVDA. Indicators, boy, natural gas, the polar vortex. Buy the gas, sell the news on the vortex, and boy, it sold off a lot. 6% drop. Remember when it was 3? We told you it was going to go down. Other commodities like corn, look at this, all the way down. We're back to the old days of corn, back in the 4s. Used to be like it was like, corn was 4, wheat was 6, and soybeans was 8. That was the forever. The averages, S&P, new record already. Look at this. It broke out. And again, driven by the techs, because the techs are most weighted in the S&P. So here we are. We got people in the techs again. They're trying to go up. It's driving the market higher. The Dow also a new high for the 52 weeks. So it's a good start. I mean, you want to be at the end of January and say, hey, S&P's at a record. And I hope you got diversification. And I hope you have your right allocations. And, we're a little overweighted tech, and that's good. Other commodities, I just bring up orange juice. Look at this thing. This thing was expensive. Holy smokes. And now we're back down to the old days. So, anytime you have a commodity like food or metals, it tends to, jump around a lot, and you're going to come back to normal. You're not going to be forever because people plant more trees, grow trees, and, you just don't plant new orange juice trees and get them the next year. But, the idea is that there's a lot of people that really work on it because it's worth money. And NVDA hit the high all time again. I mean, 570. I mean, this is a stock, if we were in August, you're at 400. And it's almost going to pass Amazon. That's what everybody's watching. Will it pass Amazon? But, it didn't jump because what NVIDIA said. It jumped what Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg saying that we're going to buy 350,000 of these AI chips. These AI chips are like, $80,000, $100,000 a pop. So, NVIDIA's got the sales, usually a lag of a year. So they're going to get them hopefully by the end of the year. And, Meta's going to use it for this, their AI. And, they've got the game coming out. But I see their revenues and advertising are just jumping. They know what you want. They know what you want to buy. They know what you're looking for. Wow. And then, of course, energy. We talk about banking and energy. Last year, energy was bad. Banking was bad. Look at ExxonMobil. We're down to the 2-year lows. But we're staying in our energy stocks because, we want to be diversified. It's only a small percentage of portfolio. If you do all 22 stocks in an 11-sector portfolio, yes, it's painful to see this 1 out of 11 disappear. But, you got to remember, it's temporary. China is not going right now. And will it go next year? They said it was going to take off last year, and it's not taking off this year. Nobody knows. Bitcoin, same thing. The ETF came, it got announced, and Bitcoin crashed from about 49,000 to 41,000. When's a good time to buy? Well, you know, it's coming down. We got BTBT, which mines Bitcoin. Um, it's going to reflect the market, and when the Bitcoin jumps up a lot, it's going to go up a lot. So, you know, this is a good time. This is what you want. You know, it's above the trend line, and as long as it stays above the trend line, you know, you want to buy. You can put a 10% stop and keep it and sell it. But if you want a part of Bitcoin, this is an easy way. You can buy an ETF. You know, like, oh, you don't have to pay fees for ETF. Well, you do pay a minor fee for any ETF, maybe 0.5 or whatever it is. Save Spirit Airlines. Well, you know, they talked about they're going to merge with JetBlue, and the court said no. And boy, look at this drop. It just dropped a lot. It went down, and after hours on Friday, JetBlue and Spirit said we're going to appeal the ruling. It makes no sense. You know, there's so many airlines. What's the difference? You know, why they got to merge? I know they don't want to, you know, do it, but Spirit's going to probably go out of business if they don't. We're going to pick on SYRE, one of our biotech stocks. We're going to remember we're going to focus on one of them every month. And if they're real dogs, we're going to sell the dogs at the end of the month this January and every month and so on. But they do the irritable bowel syndrome drugs. They got best in class by BTIG research. You know, but you can see this is an ugly chart. It's kind of like going in a cone. And but the big thing is, you know, it broke up through the top. And that's always a good sign, you know. And people say, "Well, I wanted to buy it back then." Well, there was no reason to buy it back then. You know, you got lucky when they started having success with a drug. That's biotech investing. But you have to remember the big pharmas, Merck and Pfizer, they're always going to be looking for biotechs and stuff that they can put in their pipeline. And I just pick on Bank of America. I know some banks are having problems. You know, they come out with earnings, and boy, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. Down 9 days in a row now. I mean, and you start looking at it again. This is another cone. It goes, you know, like a megaphone. You know, it's not a chart you're stabilizing. The 200-day moving average, you know, that's what everybody's watching. Well, it'll go below it. I mean, when's your time to buy? Well, if you want to buy at the bottom of the trend, you know, that's one place to look at it. And AMD. You know, we don't have it. We had it for a while, but we sold it when we made money, and you know, they were behind on AI chips. Very small percentage, like, you know, a few percent on AI revenues last year. Lisa Su is exceptional manager. We've got AI chips in the work. We're gonna boom. We got sales. Nothing like a lot of the big companies like NVDA. You know. But, you know, everybody likes it. Look at the earnings shooting up right in this channel, breaking through the trend, breaking through the top. So it's hot, and you know, it's good for till the earnings come out, and then, you know, you're gonna maybe have something you don't want to have. You know, we're pushing the AI chips that are doing well. They're making them. They're making money, like Taiwan, NVIDIA, Intel, and so on. And, you know, you just look at the heat chart. Holy smokes, nobody wanted the market to close. Look at this, all green. I mean, that was a great week. And everybody's got a good mood. And we're going to be in a full training week next week. I hope everybody stays warm. We're at -4 today right now. And have a good week.